Good Friday evening. Meteorologist Jordan Young with you with an update on the winter storm that's expected to impact our weather this weekend. Here is my latest snow accumulation map that was posted at 8 o'clock tonight, and you can see that I have cut back the totals a little bit, especially outside the mountains. Mountains, I still think around 6 to 12 inches of snow, but as you move out into the foothills and into the western Piedmont, there's going to be a little bit more ice than what we originally thought due to some warm air moving in aloft. And we'll get into that here in just a little bit when we look at the computer models. But we're still expecting around 4 to 8 inches of snow sleet mix. More sleet that mixes in, it'll probably be closer to the 4-inch category. And if it's a little bit more snow, it's going to be more around the 6, 7, 8-inch category in that yellow shaded area. As we move into the Catawba Valley and down towards the Triad area, around 3 to 6 inches of snow is kind of expected. Greensboro around 2 to 4. Charlotte area around 1 to 2 inches of snow, and to the east of that around a trace to 1 inch of snow sleet accumulation mix. And for the coastal areas, like we've been forecasting, it's just going to be mainly a rain event in those areas. There might be a little accumulation around the onset of the precipitation, but mainly it's a rain event for our eastern counties. Now, we're also going to be dealing with some freezing rain, and that freezing rain is expected to accumulate even up into the foothills, possibly. Even some freezing rain could be working its way in now. That's really a big change from what we kind of thought yesterday. So, right around the Charlotte area, right around a quarter to a half an inch of freezing rain accumulation is possible from this storm. And that's enough to bring down trees and power lines. So please be making plans right now. The winds around this storm is going to be gusty as it's deepening and strengthening, and the low pressure is going to be kind of close to us for a normal winter storm, if you will. So we're expecting wind gusts of anywhere from 20 to 30 miles an hour. I do think there will be some power outages, especially in those green and blue shaded areas. As you move into the purple shaded areas, there even could be some power outages, especially in the foothills and the Catawba Valley. There will be some snow on the power lines, and you add in some of that freezing rain, there could be a little bit of issues. But this is also subject to change based on the latest data that's coming in. But right now we expect the heaviest freezing rain accumulations right there along I-85 roughly and just to the southeast of it. In lieu of this, there's been winter storm warnings issued for much of western and central North Carolina. Ice storm warnings there for portions of South Carolina and all the blue shaded areas. That's a winter storm watch that will be expanded into new warnings later on tomorrow as we approach the event. So let's play out the timing of the event, kind of what we're thinking right now on the timing. So this is the NAM computer model this evening, and you can see our storm back over the Arkansas, Louisiana areas, spreading snow all up through Missouri. This is tomorrow morning as we proceed forward and get into the afternoon hours. You can see the low pressure going down and around the Gulf of Mexico, starting to pick up some of that moisture from the Gulf, and you could possibly see a quick snow shower develop right after sunset tomorrow. The models indicating that there might be a few, but overall everything is still well back to our west as we go through the evening hours. As we get to midnight, you can start to see some of the snow maybe starting to break out in some of the higher elevations as the flow starts to really come out of the southeast. And as we move in closer to daybreak, we start seeing the snow begin to really break out across the Carolinas. And by this is 7 a.m. in the morning, you can see the snow really beginning to move in. At this point, it would be mostly snow for most people because we are still ways away from that really strong warm air moving in around the low pressure. So snow for most areas above I-85, and then below I-85 you kind of got that sleet and freezing rain. That kind of starts to kind of push off to the north a little bit as we move into around the 10, 11 o'clock hours, and then by after lunch, that's when you really get that real good surge of warm air, if you will. And that's when we start seeing some of that change over, especially outside the mountains, to that sleet and even some freezing rain. And then once it changes, we're kind of expecting it to change. Now, the NAM model does seem to be a little bit warmer than most of the guidance and even tries to change it over in the mountains, but I really don't necessarily think that's going to happen. I really think that the mountains are going to remain mainly a snow event for this storm. And then as we move into the overnight hours, Sunday night and Monday morning, the storm slowly begins to pull away, and by Monday morning it has pulled away and we're left with the aftermath. Mountain snow showers do continue with that northwest flow behind the storm. Now here's the GFS computer model, and you can see it's kind of got similar ways of thinking. This is just after midnight Sunday morning. You can see we've already got some snow starting to develop, and then as we move into, this is 7 a.m., you can see snow in the foothills and then the Piedmont, and it's already trying to bring in some of the warmer air on the GFS and changing over to that sleet and freezing rain potentially in the Piedmont by the morning hours. And then by the afternoon hours, you can see most of the areas are in that sleet and freezing rain. We're going to pull up a couple of the soundings here and see what we've got. This is, let's pull up the Hickory Regional Airport, and you can see that there would be a pronounced warm nose. This is a sleet signature. We would be expecting sleet here. As we move to Charlotte, let's pull up the Charlotte forecast, and you can see a very large warm nose. More than likely, this would probably be a freezing rain event with temperatures there in the 30s. And then as we pull up, let's pull up Greensboro. Once again, this would probably be either a sleet or freezing rain signature with temperature of 23 degrees. That's kind of what we're seeing in this. As we pull up the mountain counties, let's pull up Asheville. And in Asheville, you can see that there's not as much of a warm nose. So here, we would probably be expecting to see more of a snow event if the model does hold. And as the storm pulls away Sunday evening, we're left with just that northwest flow of snow on the back side of it. The GFS does try to bring in some cooler air as the upper level low moves over us, so we might see a brief changeover back over to snow, but I'm not expecting really amazing accumulations. So here's kind of the forecast map in terms of temperatures. This is Sunday afternoon. You can kind of see roughly right along that line. That's where we're going to really see that best chance for that really high freezing rain chance, if you will. Just right along that line, just right along and south of I-85. That's going to be your area that has the best chance for the biggest freezing rain accumulations. And then as it pulls away, it's going to be really cold as we move into Monday morning. We're looking into the 20s where the snowpack is on the ground. And then again on Tuesday morning, we're talking about another cold morning. Some areas could be in the teens with that snow on the ground in the mountains, foothills, and in the Piedmont areas. So that's kind of what we're thinking right now. It's kind of a sloppy storm, just to be really honest with you. There's a lot of snow, a lot of sleet, a lot of freezing rain, a lot of rain. We're going to get the full Heinz variety, if you will, with this storm system as it pulls in so much moisture and so much to the Carolinas. So again, 6 to 12 in the mountains, 4 to 8 in the neighboring foothills as you get to more of the western Piedmont, 3 to 6 or 2 to 4 inches as you move closer to I-85. South of I-85, you're looking at just roughly around an inch or so of snow and sleet, and that potential for some damaging ice. So please make plans accordingly and have your phones charged, have any generators prepared if you need a generator, and just make preparations now for potential of ways to keep warm during this storm in the event that there's power outages. Also, travel will be very difficult in these areas, so please plan accordingly if you must travel. I will keep you updated, and we'll have another post tomorrow regarding this system. Thank you for listening. I'm meteorologist Jordan Young.